Hi, this is Summer with Summer's Tips and Stitches, and this is a yarn chat video. So the last couple weeks, the last real big video I made is where I shared with you my 5 must-have crochet knitting supplies, which I can link in the description if you haven't seen again. And the video I made just before that, in the same shirt, was my Crochet Society box number 36, which I am very excited to start on the project. But I thought I'd give you a little update on what I've been doing this last week because I haven't got to crochet as much, but I haven't been doing nothing. Okay, so the first project that I have made some good progress on while watching Netflix and YouTube, of course, is a baby blanket. I'm using Deborah Norville's Everyday anti-pilling yarn in the colorway denim, and I have just been working on this little blanket. I want to say like 5 skeins into the project, and when I do this stitch, this is just a double crochet, and then I do some kind of weird little stitch where I go into the back loop, I yarn over, pull up a loop, pull through 1, so then I have 2 loops on my hook, and then I go through the front loop of that same stitch, yarn over, pull through 1, then I have 3 loops, and then it's like a half double crochet where I finish. And it's this weird like split little bobble, and I rotate between a double crochet and then that weird little stitch, and then on the next row, after I get down to the end, then I do the reverse. On top of the double crochet is when I do that weird little stitch in both the front and back loop, and then I do a double crochet. So it's been kind of fun. It's a nice, easy, mindless pattern, and I don't really have to think about what I'm gonna do. And I'm done really well at not mixing up my stitches, because whenever I have to do a double crochet, it's kind of in this big open stitch. Do you see that? And then when I do my weird back loop half stitch, front loop half stitch, they're kind of a tighter stitch, so it works out really well. So this is what it's looking like. It's nothing fancy. It's just a variegated denim look, and I'm just making it to donate to Christ Child Society for baby blankets. So that is what I'm carrying around. And then I decided, since after cleaning my crafty corner, I had found these, I started using one of these to hold my yarn. Now, sadly, I can't find this on Amazon at all. And then I tried to remember, did I buy these at Hobby Lobby or Joann's? And I went to both stores to look. I did not buy anything, but they didn't have them at either store. Now, Amazon does have things that are similar. They're kind of like this drum. They call this a lot of times in the description, Yarn Project Drum. And they have some that are made out of canvas and some out of mesh. But I have not seen any out of the hard plastic. And then I carry it in my reusable shopping bag from Joann's that says Girl Gang, which I'm technically not in a girl gang. Okay, so that's the first thing I've been working on. And I don't believe I have a pattern. I mean, I did at one point, but it was something that I remember. And then I went to look through my hoard of patterns to see if I could find it. And I can't, and I'm sorry. Okay, so the next thing that I've been working on, you guys, I am very excited to present this to you. I have wanted to make this for a very long time, and I'm actually really glad that I waited this long, because I've increased my knitting skills. I know how to do, obviously, knits and purls, knit stitches together. I know how to knit in one stitch front and back and front again to make extra stitches. I know how to decrease, and I know how to make spaces, and I can knit in the round because I have been working on my hats. And so finally, my stepmom has sat down and started to teach me how to knit socks. Now, I am still very new, obviously. I've just started. She found this pattern. This is what she uses personally. Now, obviously, she has knitted other socks, but she feels like this, to get started, is I'm trying to look for the cover. The easiest pattern to start with. And it's called Sockamatician's Toe Up, right there. And this is a recipe on how to make socks to fit your feet, obviously, because like, for example, Brandon wears a men's size 15 wide. I wear size woman's 8.5. And so based on the measurement of your foot and then doing math, it walks you through how to figure out how many stitches. Now, I'm going to be honest, math is my least favorite subject. And so thankfully, she has been very kind to help me figure out the math. Well, and then sometimes she just does it for me. And so based on some formulas that are provided, I'm going to flash it up real quick. Based on formulas provided and very thorough descriptions, you are able to calculate how many stitches you need to cast on, how many rows you need to increase on, when you need to stop increase when you hit the widest part of your foot, and then when you, like where your big toe is, where it meets your toes, meet your foot, and then how far you continue. Here's something I thought I would show you that's pretty amazing. Based on some calculations and measurements and whatnot, this sock mathematician here, sockomatician, has discovered that your foot, if you measure from here to here, that is about the size that you need to knit your sock. So after you've done your increase till right about here, which mine I think came to 56 rows, I don't know. From here, then you do straight knitting. You don't have to do any increasing. And from here to here was 56 rows for me. Now, obviously, that's not going to be 56 rows for the next person. So as I've been going along and as she's doing the math, I now have the formula for me, what I need to do. I need to cast on 12 stitches. There's even a fancy way to cast on for this. It's similar to a long tail cast on, but it puts stitches on both needles because you're working on 2 sets of circulars. Because yes, my friends, I have I learned the magic loop a while ago, but I didn't prefer it, but I've been working with the magic loop. And then, yeah, so right now, I'll show you how far along I am on the foot. Later today, I'm going to go back to her house. My son, Flynn, is going to come along and he's going to play in the sandbox. And I am going to learn how to do this part, the heel. Okay, so I will show you. This yarn I bought quite a while ago when I went to that yarn convention in Chicago. I put the paperwork for this yarn inside of this ball. Hopefully I can get it out and then get it back in. The yarn I am using is called Traveled Less Yarns. That's the company. This is a sock yarn, and which means it has nylon in it. That's what makes it special. And it is called Stone Fox Outspoken Collection, 757 yards, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. I lied, it's 463 yards. And this is merino from Argentina. So this yarn convention was essentially in a big like arena, and everybody had their booths set up, and everybody there sold something that pertained to knit, crochet, or yarn. And this is what the yarn looks like wrapped up in the cake. And here are the start of my socks. It starts with this kind of little bit straighter area, and this is where you're doing a very difficult increase. I suggest using lace point needles for this. I do not have any, and I've got to put on my reading glasses and look real carefully because there's a very difficult stitch. And then here's the part where I stopped increasing and I just knit straight down. And then right here, your foot goes in this way, and this is the part of the sock where I increase, that's going to go up my ankle. This, I believe, is where I'm going to be doing the heel part off this. And you knit in the round on these needles, and you just, when you're ready to do this side, you pull this guy forward and you knit off of here, and then you turn it around and then you knit off of here. Now, the one sad thing about knitting like this is unless you're very good, you end up with something called laddering. And that is where you have like this little bit of empty space between your stitches. And that's where you're joining from one of the circular kneaders to the other. I'm trying to pull as tightly as I can, but to be honest, it doesn't look terrible. And then here's a little bit more of that laddering right here. I think as the socks stretch and wear, maybe it'll fade. But these are looking real cute, huh? I love the pattern that they're kind of coming in with the little purple and the fun colors. And then the beauty of the sock is that after you do your first one, you got to make another. So I'm cooking right along. I think I've come to the hardest part possible. I just did what's called the gusset, and then now I'm gonna do the heel. And I've been working on and off with it. Like I worked on a little bit, and then it kind of depends on the getting it done is when I'm able to get back to her house, because in between all that, Jared had football camp. He did one day of basketball camp and quit. Flynn has had a few doctor's appointments. He actually was scheduled for an MRI to like help figure out what's going on with that leg of his. And then I've of course been reading some books. I'm trying to make the most of my summer. And so I'm trying to do all the things that I want to do during the school year that I don't get to do. So I'm making socks, I'm crocheting a baby blanket, I'm reading books, I'm working on a puzzle. I bought a really amazing puzzle that has butterflies and chrysalises in a circle. Yesterday I went shopping with a friend. So I'm really trying to do as much as I can. So yeah, that is really the two main projects I've been working on. I kind of put to a halt the Tunisian crochet project for the table runner from Bella Coco. I want to say, I don't know even how long ago, what box number that project was from. Not that it's any harder or stressful. It's just that when I got invited over to start making the sock, I put a hold on that because obviously I need to be focused on getting that done. So hopefully by the end of July, I will have finished a full pair of socks for myself. Other than that, I think that's about all. I think today is July 1st, so I finished my first full month of summer vacation. It's going so fast because after July, that's the second full month, I only have like 2 weeks of August. Our first day of school is August 21st, I believe. And teacher in-service begins a whole week before that. And I like to pop into my classroom as soon as EAA is done. I don't know if you ever heard of EAA. Our school sets up as a hotel for EAA guests around the world to stay in. And once they have moved out and the classrooms are back in order, we can head in there to start setting up. Because obviously we empty our classrooms for them to stay, and then we can put our stuff back in. So I'm anxious to get all that done and started before my sister's wedding, which is also in Oshkosh. I love her and I'm so proud of her and all of her life accomplishments, but literally, and it has to happen to someone, right? This is the worst weekend of the entire year for me, for her to get married. Because being a teacher, it's the weekend before the first week of school. Yeah, and it just so happens that not only is her wedding on the 20th, 21 is Sunday, 22 is Monday, first day of school. Not only is her wedding right before that, but my birthday is the 18th, which is open house day. The 19th is rehearsals. So it's one of those things that it's my birthday, and then we have open house where all the kids come to school with their parents, bring in their supplies. At 5 o'clock, I got to close ship. We got to jump back home, pack everything up, leave at the crack of dawn on the 19th to get there in time for the rehearsal on the 19th. So nothing like a little bit of stress before the stress of the first week of school. Yeah, but luckily for me, this is the last of the siblings on my side of the family to get married. I believe, well, my husband's family is a little bit different. A few of them have partners and whatnot so I don't know, marriage may not be as ceremony is important over there. So who knows how that's going to be going. But for my side of the family, we're done. And so why not have it be the busiest weekend of the year for me, right? Why not? And of course, the kids are all in the wedding, and so we've got to do all that. Now, as a little side note, because I've just done a lot of chatting, the last chatty thing I thought I would say, for those of you who held out to the end, during Flynn, if you remember, any of you regulars remember that I have Flynn, and he's got that situation where one of his legs has been getting really fat, and after a while, we kind of settled on the diagnosis of lymphedema, which is something a lot of people do suffer with. And that's where one of their lymph nodes don't work appropriately and the fluid retains in arms and legs. But typically, almost 99% of the time, it does not occur in children, specifically 9-year-old boys. But with the MRI, they found that his lymph nodes and all that were draining and working fine. So there's something else that's causing this fluid buildup in his leg, which I think could be good or bad because lymphedema is uncurable. It can only be maintained with treatment, lymphatic massage, this like pumping and squeezing machine, and this little vibrating machine. So in that case, if it's something else, maybe it's curable. So keep Flynn in your prayers because we're on a new path. This has been going on for just about 3 years. So if you've been watching me for a number of years, you may have heard about Flynn. So that is what I wanted to finish off with, which is just asking some of my yarn friends to give us some prayers for Flynn and that they're able to find out what the cause is. All right. So I'm going to go back upstairs and work on my baby blanket. Later on today, I'm going on for the next piece of the puzzle on making the sock and maybe do a little reading. Thanks for watching and subscribing. Thanks for liking and sharing my videos. And until the next video, happy crafting. Bye.